शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। दयानन्दरूपं मदाचार्यमीडे। भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते। सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति दुष्कृन्तरणि। मूढजहि धनागमतृष्णां कुरु सद्बुद्धिं मनसि वितृष्णां। यल्लभसे निजकर्मोपात्तं वित्तं तेन विनोदय चित्तम्। नारीस्तनभरनाभीदेशं दृष्ट्वा मागामोहावेशम्। एतन्मां सवसादिविकारं मनसि विचिन्तय वारं वारं। नलिनीदलगतजलमतितरलं तद्वज्जीवितमतिशयचपलम्। विद्धिव्याध्यभिमानग्रस्तं लोकं शोकहतं च समस्तं। यावत् वित्तोपार्जनसक्तः तावन्निजपरिवारो रक्तः। पश्चाज्जीवति जर्जरदेहे मातां कोऽपि न पृच्छति गेहे। यावत् पावनो निवसति देहे तावत् पृच्छति कुशलं गेहे। गतवति वायौ देहापाये भार्या बिभ्यति तस्मिन् काये। अर्थमनर्थं भावय नित्यम् नास्ति ततः शुकलेशः सत्यम्। पुत्रादपि धनभाजां भीतिः सर्वत्रैषा विहिता रीतिः। बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीरक्तः। वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तामग्नः परमे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न लग्नः। So we saw up to this verse, I think last week. Did we see Balastavat Krida Saktaha? Does anybody remember? Artham Anartham Bhavaya Nityam. The wealth is anartha, it's not of any use to you. When the time comes, when the Antima Kala comes, is whatever wealth, anything that you consider as wealth is not going to be with you. Nasti tataha shukaglesha satyam. Even when it is there with you while you are alive, whatever you have acquired, it's not going to give you any happiness, because the happiness that you derive from having wealth is not from the wealth, but because you choose to be happy by having that wealth. The wealth doesn't have even an iota of, it doesn't have the capability, anything. It could be wealth, it could be relationship, anything that you acquire and think that it is the source of pleasure or it is the source of security, That object by itself doesn't have the capability of being a source of anything because it is jadam. A jada vastu cannot be a source of anything. Then you may wonder, okay, uh, relationship is not jadam. Can't it be a source of sukham? So I choose to see sukham in that relationship. So even that sukham is conditional. As long as certain conditions apply, then it seems to be a source of sukham for me. But when it appears, or in my perception, as long as it is a source of happiness, I see it as a source of happiness. After that, the same vastu becomes a source of dukkham. So there is nothing in this universe, in this world, in this jagat, which is a source of sukham or even a source of dukkham, both. It's incapable of it. So I am the one who see it as a source of something. Okay? Putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. So now let us say, like, please always remember we are seeing the extreme conditions of uh, a person's life. Okay, Shankara, I have to keep repeating it in every class that Shankara is not saying wealth is wrong or relationships are wrong and all that. He's just saying that it is a delusion to see it as the end in itself. That is what he's saying. So even for the one who has a lot of wealth, whether he is an elderly person or even when the person is young, it really doesn't matter at what age, at what stage you are in life. If you have wealth, then even your own children, even the one whom you love a lot, they become children in the sense not exactly son. Because why he says putra? Because everybody has a very special relationship with their son. Because the son is always seen as the one who inherits everything. Putra can include putri, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, everybody. Okay, or even your close, anyone whom you think is very close to you, very close to your heart. Even that person, from that person itself, becomes a source of fear for you because you do not know what this person will do to you in order to gain whatever you have access to whatever you have. Sarvatresha vihita rihiti. This is not just for you, all over the world. So Sarvatra includes the whole world, be it India or any other country. This is the case everywhere. Therefore, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate. Don't be deluded, my dear. Everything is anything that you have in your possession will leave you and go, or it will be taken away from you. बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीरक्तः. So in some edition it may be tarunastavat taruni saktaha. Both are correct. Saktaha, raktaha, both are correct. But we will see raktaha because already the first line saktaha is given. Vriddhastavat chinta magnaha. Parame Brahmani Kopina Saktaha may be there or Lagnaha may be there. Both are correct. But we'll say Lagnaha because it goes along with Magna. Magna, Lagna, Sakta, Rakta. Okay. Balastavat. As long as when you in your childhood, okay, then you're totally engrossed in playing, sports, playing, all these playful activities. As a child, no child wants to sit and study, no child wants to sit and take any responsibilities. So it's very happy, it's free, it has no responsibilities. An age where responsibilities are not handed over to the children, nor the children are in position to take some responsibilities. Of course, as a child, whatever little bit responsibility the child has will be given to the child. I'm not talking about an infant, I'm talking about a child who can run around and play. Okay, someone who can leave the house and go out and say, "Ma, I'm going," even without informing, one who can go out and play. So, as a child, the child is absolutely not interested even in studies, which is natural. But then just because it is natural for a child not to have any interest in studies, not doesn't have any interest in taking some responsibilities for whatever responsibilities it can take at that age. It doesn't mean we can allow the children to be playful. The child has to be taught to be responsible. The child has to be told that a child can play only up to a particular time. But then, even then, the child tells lies, the child keeps begging, the child finds ways to focus on playing rather than studying. The whole childhood goes only in being playful rather than rather than saying that the exact act of playing. The attitude is playful. It's a playful attitude where nothing is taken seriously in spite of being told. Okay, that is the flaw there. So why he is mentioning about childhood? Because there is a flaw in the childhood where you think it is all right to be playful. You think it is all right for a child to be like this, while it is actually the child has to learn to be committed, learn to be determined in doing whatever it has to do. Every age has certain responsibilities, right? Every age has this. So the maturity has to grow as we age. So a 3-year-old child, when it becomes 4, a little bit of maturity is expected in its behavior, in its attitude, everything. Same when it becomes 5, more responsibilities. It has to be taught. Responsibility will not come on its own, but the child has to be taught. But then what happens? Everybody says, oh, it is a child, so it is all right for the child to be like that. We as adults, we are not, we should be like child, we should learn from children. And we allow the child to be playful also. And that is the reason why in many families, the children are not given the samskara from a very young age. A mistake made by parents, because parents, oh, when I was a child, I never had this opportunity. When I was a child, I didn't get this opportunity. So you want to fulfill, you want that child to live your life. So in making that child be playful and be, um, you know, not taking responsibilities, which is expected of a particular age, you are actually seeing the mother actually sees oneself in the child. Similarly, father actually sees himself in the child. Or it may be the other way around, you know. My mother didn't teach me how to be responsible, so I will make the child responsible when it is 3 itself. So some extremes are there. So that doesn't seem to be a balance. But generally, children like to play. So balastavat krida saktaha. So the child is attached to playing. So if you ask the child not to play and come and have food or even study, you must see how angry or how upset and irritated and disappointed the child is. The child's mind is engrossed only in playing. Okay, let the child grow. Let him become 13, 14, 15. Okay, then what happens? Tarunastavat taruni sakta. Okay, now he is 13, 12, 13, 14, 15. He is no more playing. His mind is not uh, finds playing as an attraction. He finds girls or boys. The child finds a girl or a boy as attraction. And he wants to play with that emotion, those feelings. You know. So Tarunastavat taruni sakta. The mind is engrossed in that. Then everybody says, oh, it is a teenage. It's okay. If not now, then when? You know, it goes like that. Then, and along with uh, that age, they're allowed. You know, it's also granted, okay, in this age, bhakti is not possible. In this age, responsibility is not possible. People write it off sometimes. Sometimes, even if after your many efforts, also sometimes it doesn't work. Because the mind is like that. We have to only be prayerful that even at that's why when somebody at a very young age is being very religious or spiritual or being very responsible, the child is really appreciated. It's seen as something very special. Somebody is doing Sandhya Vandanam when he's a teenager. Oh my God, Ascharyavat Ascharya nowadays. In those days, everybody was doing mostly. But now, as the years pass, it comes down. The percentage of teenagers, uh, I think somewhere even parents struggle, how to make the child. Because even the father is not a role model in many houses. Because children learn from father, boys learn from father, daughters learn from mothers. So these things are there. Anyway, if we get into that subject, it will be a new subject. The young, as the youth goes in being attracted to the opposite sex, what happens then? So the youth includes the middle age and everything up to old age. Then you say, okay, now I have to focus on career, then I have to focus on marriage, then I have to focus on children, then I have to focus on their education, then I have to focus on their marriage, then I have to focus on their job. It goes. Then the grandchildren. When everything is there, once I settle, once I retire, then I will think of all this. Then what happens in Vriddha? Vriddhastavat chintamagna. So when the retirement age comes, even that age, there is a lot of regrets. Chinta means worries. Worries about I should have done this, I shouldn't have done that, maybe this should have gone there, I shouldn't have gone there, I shouldn't have spoken like this. A lot of guilt, regrets, shame, everything is there. So the mind goes regret, including I wasted my childhood, I shouldn't have done this, everything. But the time is not going to come back. You keep regretting, and or some other worries, lot of worries. Either you worry about your own children or your grandchildren. Chinta magna. Parame brahmani kopina lagna. So nobody, at last, nobody chooses Bhagavan. Nobody's mind is fixed on Bhagavan. Nobody's mind is fixed on moksha. Nobody's mind is even questioning what is the purpose of life, what is the purpose of being a human being, what is the goal of this life. Nobody thinks about Parame Brahmani, Kopina Lagnaha. Nobody is interested in that. Kate Kanta Kaste Putraha Samsaro Yamativa Vichitraha कस्य त्वं वा कुत आयातः तत्त्वं चिन्तय तदिह भ्रातः काते कान्ता. Who is your wife? You keep saying my wife, my wife, my wife. Who is your wife? Or kahate bharta. If it is your husband, you say my husband, my husband, my husband. Kaste putra. Who is your son? My son, my son, my son, my daughter, my daughter, my daughter. Samsaroyam ativa vichitraha. The samsara is really very strange. Ativa, very, very strange. Kasyatvam. To whom do you belong to? Kuta ayata. From where did you come? Where have you come from? Tattvam chintaya. May your mind dwell upon understanding the truth of all these questions, whatever has been raised. Here, now, Tata, my dear brother, who is your wife? You keep saying. So in this verse, Shankaracharya is dealing with the delusion a person has with reference to one's own family. So if you ask anybody, everybody has a lot of disappointments with their own family members, with their spouse, with their children, with their relatives. Predominantly, you manage to have, uh, you know, to go about with your life without finding faults or without. You just forgive and keep moving. It's not that the pain has completely gone. But still you manage because you have to live, right? Every day we cannot get up and cry and be angry about what has happened. We keep moving. Okay, next day, next day, next day, keeps going. So what is this? My family, my children. So there was a king by name Chitraketu. Long time back, okay? The king means always a long time back story. There was a king by name Chitraketu. This Chitraketu got married and he waited for a child. It didn't happen. So he married again. He waited for a child. No child. He married again. He waited for a child. No child. He kept on marrying. I don't know how many times he married, but the story says he married many times. And he was very, very disappointed that he could not have a child through any marriage, any one of his marriages. None of the girls, the queens, were able to give him a child. But actually, that is a wrong way, to say that a woman was not able to give a child. The man is also responsible. So one day, sage Angirasa came to see this king. So rishis suddenly will come and visit the kings, to give their ashirvada if they are passing through that way. He arrived at this palace. So the king was really happy to receive the king and he welcomed him and did all the upachara that is fit for a rishi. Uh, because a rishi is a special ati. And he welcomed the king and but the rishi, he welcomed the rishi and the rishi noticed that the king was really not very happy. When he saw his face, he knew that something is wrong with this guy. He's not really totally tripta. So that she asked, Angirasa asked, what happened, Chitraketu? Why are you looking sad? You don't seem to be really tripta. I see something is lacking. Is everybody okay in your family? All the ministers are loyal to you? Are your armed forces really loyal to you? Do they listen to you? Are they in your control? He keeps asking anything because for a king, generally for a king, a worry will be in connection with the kingdom, his people, his army, his ministers. Because anything can go wrong for a king. Yeah. Being a king is very difficult. It's not possible to trust anyone 100%. And he also asked, you have so many wives, and I know that all of them are really well educated and from a very good family. So I'm sure they're all kind to you and they are very qualified women, not ordinary women. So are they all kind to you and are you happy with them? He asked all this. Then the king said, everything is okay, my rishi. Everybody is fine and my kingdom is very well taken care of. My ministers are loyal to me, everything is there, but the only one worry I have is I don't have a child, especially a son. He says I don't have a son. A son who will take the responsibility of this kingdom once I'm gone, and I'm worried about who will be the king next, who will take the responsibility, who will be the Yuvaraja. I have the responsibility of handing over the kingdom to a qualified person. And not only that, who will do the Antima Karma for me. I don't have anyone to do the Antima Karma, who will do Shraddha for me, who will offer Pinda to the ancestors, to the Pitrus. Pitru Karma also will come to an end if I don't have a Santati. Because of this, I am very much worried. And Angirasa, being a rishi, he understood the Raja's concern and being a rishi, of course, they know all Trikala Jnani is there. And he told Chitraketu, in this Janma, as per your Prarabdha, you will never have a child. It's impossible. It is not there in your Prarabdha. And you will not have a child and you will not have a son, which is understood. And the king said, He was really very sad, The king became very sad and he said, hey, Rishi, you are very powerful. I know all the rishis are very powerful. If you bless me with a child, I will definitely have a child. Please bless me with a son. I want a son. He was very desperate. I mean, not having a son was actually eating him up to that extent. He was sad. And the sage said, hey Chitraketu, no one can be happy in this world by just having children. Be it a son or a daughter, even wife or wealth. They are not the source of happiness. Anyone whom you think is a source of happiness will at some time will be a source of dukkam also. So there is nothing in this world which is a definite source of happiness. And whatever you possess will cause pain, will definitely cause pain at some time. And you will also become old one day, you will also give up the body one day. And whatever possessions you have, whatever you are longing for, that you are desperate about having, once you acquire it, it is not going to come with you. You have to leave it and go, or it will leave and go. So you seek the feet of Bhagavan, you surrender at the feet of Bhagavan and find Ananda in Bhagavan. So that is the only way a person can be happy. And divert all your love and all your attention, all your affection towards Bhagavan. Offer yourself at his feet and do seva to Bhagavan. He is the only source of Ananda. He is the only one who can give you real Sukham, real Ananda. Know this, and anything that you acquire is Anitya. You are not this body, you are not this mind. It goes on into Vedanta teach. So all you need now is a guru. So you seek a guru, study the Shastra, and what you need is Atma Jnanam. That is the purpose of one's life. Leave everything to Bhagavan. Everything in the sense he says, it's worry about what will happen to my kingdom, all those worries. He says, you leave it to Bhagavan. Take care of it. But he was not convinced, because he wanted a child. Somehow he wanted a child. Not only because he needed someone to look after the kingdom, but he himself personally wanted a son. And the rishi also tries to convince him, don't think that once I have a son, I'll be happy. That is not true. Once I have a child, I'll be happy. No, that is not true. If you, he also says, if you carry this longing of having more possessions, this will not relieve you from taking another janma, which means you have to take more janmas. Any longing that you have will only bind you. So which means, and more janma in the sense, not just more human janmas, but in between you may have to be born as a donkey, as a pig, as a buffalo, as a crocodile, as a worm, as a bird, as a tree. So there are so many innumerable janmas that is there in our prarabdha. We do not know which karma will fructify and become your prarabdha. Surrender to Krishna. He says, no, hey Bhagavan, you are very powerful, you have tapobalam. If you decide, you can definitely bless me with the son. Then Angirasa thought, okay, he's so desperate about having a son. Then he said, okay, you will have a son. But then the son will be a source of joy and also a source of sorrow. Remember that. He said, it's okay. I will manage all that. When the right time comes, I will hand over the kingdom to him and I will retire to the forest. Then Angirasa said, okay, if that is what you want, you will have it. And he gave him some payasam. Always if you want to have a child, they will give payasam. Means that is the one way of purifying yourself from all the karma which is stopping you from having a child. So he said, you give this to the one of your wives whom you think is dearest to you. Then the king takes the payasam, he's very happy, he's grateful to the rishi, he offers it to the eldest queen. Naturally, because the eldest queen's child alone can become the king. And also she is the one whom he loved. He married everybody else in order to have a child. So if there is an opportunity for her to have a child, then definitely he wanted it to be through his eldest queen, the one who married first. So she had the payasam, and after some time they had a son, and the child grew up. Everybody was very happy. The king was very happy. The queen was very happy. The queens, other queens were also very happy playing with the child and all that. Then the boy became 5 year old. When the boy became 5 year old, other queens, other ranis, they started having this discussion among themselves, talking among themselves. Hey, look, from the day the child is born, the king doesn't even bother to pay attention to us. This has been going on for a long time. And all his attention is towards the eldest queen because she is the one who bore the child to him. And he doesn't even ask us, how are you, what are you doing? Doesn't even inquire about us. And look at our maid servants, our maids. When they go home, they are able to be with their husbands, and the husbands are pleased, and they give them gifts, and they care for their wives. But we have lost even what our maid servants have. We are unfortunate. We only keep doing seva to this lady and looking after the child and all that. So all this has changed only after the child is born. Then somebody suggested, it's all because of the child. If the child is not there, then everybody will be back to normal. And we can get back our normal life. So they conspired to kill the child. So they poisoned the child. And the queen did not know that they have poisoned the child. So she was waiting for the child to wake up. The child did not wake up, and she thought maybe the child is wanting to sleep for some more time. But then after some time, she was wondering what's wrong. The child is not even waking up at all. She told the servant to bring the child to her, check what's wrong. When the servant maid went to the cradle, I mean not the cradle, it's a 5 year old child. And she went to the child, she saw that the child, its eyes, it's got stuck. Immediately she knew the child has died. And she started wailing, screaming, and shocked and sad. When she was wailing and screaming, the queen couldn't understand. She couldn't believe. She even thought anything could go wrong. She was wondering what's wrong, why is she screaming and wailing. She ran towards the child and she found that the child is dead. There's no trace of life in the child, and she also started crying, hitting on her chest, falling down, and somebody immediately rushed to the king to inform the king that the child is dead. The king could not bear the news. He just couldn't stand that news. He immediately fainted, and then he woke up again, and people had to hold him. His ministers had to hold him, and on the way from his place to the queen's chamber, he kept falling down, crying and wailing. Almost like we see in Ramayana, Dasharatha had the same when he had to get separated from Rama. And he sees the child, he's shocked, everybody is crying, and the other queens also joined in crying because nobody should suspect them, right? They were also crying. Meanwhile, Sage Angirasa had to come again there along with Narada Maharishi. And Angirasa didn't know what was happening. And he asked everyone, why are you crying? What's going on? Why everybody is like this? And nobody seemed to answer. Everybody was crying. Then he got hold of someone, hey, come on, tell me what's happening. Why is everybody crying? Then somebody told him, no, the king's son has gone. So where did he go? The rishi is asking, okay, where did he go? When is he coming back? No, he's gone forever. He's not going to come back. Then the rishi realized, oh, the child is dead. Then he goes to the king and Even at that time, the king didn't realize the warning of the rishi given in the beginning, like the child will be the source of joy and the source of pain also. So he goes to the king and then, he has to console him and all that. Because of this king's great affection, he's, he was lamenting, and it was, the sorrow was like a fire. It's growing and growing. It doesn't seem to come down at all. And nobody was in a position to console this king. It was like that. Then the king was breathing heavily, shock, and he kept on fainting and getting up, and people had to look after this fellow also. There is nobody who was capable of consoling him. So much was his dukkham. Now Narada came there, and the rishi consoled him and he said, "Okay, whatever happened has happened. Now we have to do whatever needs to be done next." And they made all arrangements for the Antima Kriya. Seeing the king's condition, Narada felt very sad. Then he thought, because he was not listening to anybody. No, the rishi could not console, Narada could not console, nobody in the palace could console him. Then he brought the Jiva back, the child's Jiva back. Before the Antyeshti, he asked the Jiva to come back and start speaking. So this Jiva came back and the 5-year-old child started speaking. Not like a 5-year-old, but like a matured person. He was speaking. Narada said, "Look, your father is very sad. You have to console your father." And the child said, "Who is my father?" And the king was shocked. Father, "Hey, I am your father, man. I am your father." And the child said, "No, you are not my father. Hey, look at your mother. Look how shocked she is, how sad she is losing you." "No, she's not my mother." "So what are you talking?" He said, "No, you're not my father, you're not my mother. I have been through so many janmas, I have so many fathers, so many mothers. At every stage, whenever I took a body, there was a mother, there was a father. There is no permanent father, no permanent mother for me. This life keeps moving. I take different bodies. My prarabdha is over. Now I have to do, I'm taking another janma to exhaust my other prarabdhas. So nobody is permanently mine. I don't belong to anyone permanently." So like this, the child talks about Vedanta, whatever the Shastra Jnanam he was trying to teach the father. He was teaching Vedanta to the father about Atma Jnanam. And then Chitraketu, slowly he gets clarity. Then he realizes that nobody belongs to anybody. And this life has to keep moving, the jiva has to take many janmas depending upon one's karma. So kate kanta kaste putra. So everybody has come in between. The child says, "I just happened to be there. I came in between. I just came and I'm just leaving. My work is over here." So if we see, everybody came in between only. My mother, the father, because even before I was born, I didn't come into existence when I was born. I was already existing and therefore I took a body. If I have to wear a dress, I should already be there in order to wear this dress, right? It is not that because I am wearing a dress, I exist. I already exist and that's why I am wearing a dress. I am able to change my dress. Similarly, Vasamsi Jirnani Yata Vihaya Navani Grinnati Naropana. This Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, when the dress becomes old, you throw away the dress and you take another body, another dress. Similarly, when there is no use for this body, even if it is a young body, sometimes we throw away our new dress also, right? So old in the sense, I see this is old, but for somebody else it may look like a new dress. It's just new. Why are you throwing? No, yeah, it's old. But it looks so nice. No, 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 it is old. I am done with it. And people throw away the dress. Similarly, whether it is a young body or an elderly body or a mature body, it really doesn't matter. Once my work is done, I just shed the body and go. Everything has come in between only. I take a body in the sense I am already there in order to take a body. So my mother, whomever I call as a mother or a father who came, they came in between. I was already there. And these people, then my work is over, I'm going. Then your wife or your husband, they came in between. Even your own child, in between. They came in between. These people came in between in your life. So anything that you see, it was not there from the beginning. Even if you say my parents were there from the beginning, that is a delusion. That is what Shankara is saying. It is a delusion to say that from the beginning they are there, from the beginning my child is there. No, from the beginning you had many mothers, many fathers, many husbands, many wives, many children. Who knows, your previous Janma husband may be your brother now, or your driver also, who knows? Someone who really is there, or even your pet dog. Your wife could be anything, or maybe they are not even there in your life now. The people to whom you are related to, they are not even there in your life. You have a new set of people now, absolutely new set of people. Somebody could, or maybe your neighbor, somebody who was your mother could be your neighbor, somebody who was your father could be your boss in the office, who knows. We take different roles. None of these roles are permanent. Like in movies, the same actor and the actress, in one movie they are husband and wife, another movie are the brother and sister. In another movie, the lady is the mother and the same hero is the son. So that's exactly how this life is. So you don't belong to anybody, nor anybody belongs to you. So you don't have this delusion that we are all there forever and ever and ever. Why do you even want? I want the same spouse in my next Janma for another 7 Janmas. Why do you give yourself some options? Nah? Why you want to have the same person? The same son, the same daughter in my next Janma also. Same parents. Anyway, it's not going to happen just because I wish it is not going to happen. Or it may happen also, who knows? Bhagavan will say, you ask now, okay, take. For another Janmas, you are stuck with this person. 7 Janmas. This 7 Janma and also is not really true, okay? You have innumerable Janmas. So everybody has come in between. That is what Shankara is saying. Whomever you call as your own, your close, forever and ever mine. So generally these daughter-in-laws in India, when if it is an arranged marriage, when you bring in a girl from some other family, from an unknown family, you hunt for a girl and then you get a girl, then they get married. Whenever whenever there is an issue in the family and the girl opens her mouth to say something, you shut up. What do you know about this family? You just came yesterday. You don't belong. They will say. You came yesterday. You came in between. And it really hurts, when somebody says like that to a girl. It's really, the girl gets upset. She feels rejected. She feels left out. She doesn't feel accepted. In fact, that is true for all of us. Everybody has come in between only. All these relationships are not permanent. So, okay, in Tamil, I can't give you the Tamil quotation. There is a Patinatar who says, in so many janmas, so many husbands, so many janmas, so many sons. How many more janmas, hey Shiva, Lord Shiva, do I have to take? When will this samsara end? He says, Mata nasti, pita nasti, nasti bandhus sahodaraha. Artham nasti, graham nasti, tasmat jagrata jagrata. Mata nasti. You don't have a mother. You don't have a father. You don't have a sahodara. You don't have a bandhu. And you don't have a house. You don't own a house. You don't own. Not you don't have, you don't own. Okay? You don't own. Nothing is your own. You think you own something. Whatever you think you're owning is just, everything has come in between only. So that's not jagrata jagrata. Hey, wake up, don't be deluded. See the truth. Tattvam chintaya bhrata, he says. So everybody has come with a purpose on this earth. The truth is everybody has come with a purpose. I am born with a purpose. My prarabdha is there. Okay, now I have to keep continuing till my prarabdha rectifies. I do not know what this janma, what is the purpose of this janma for me, unless I choose a purushartha. Moksha is a purushartha. So everybody has come with a horoscope, right? The squares are already there. So your horoscope says your prarabdha is this much, this is how you will be, this is what you are going to seek. Even if you seek this, you will never get it. Even without seeking, you will get this based on your Purvajanma Karma, Purvajanma Papa, Purvajanma Punya, what is your debit, what is your credit. Based on that, they will tell you. But then, of course, your Purushartha is there. That also interferes, with your prarabdha. There are certain things which you can change through prayer, and there are certain things you can't change even in spite of prayer. Your prarabdha is such that you have to go through this. It is strong. So what do I do at that time? Okay, we'll see all that in some other class. So the point is, you can't control everything, in your life. I'm going to give the best to my children. I'm going to do this for my husband. I'm going to do this for my family. You, how much ever you try to protect them from everything or protect yourself from every unforeseen situation, something else will pop up. You are planned for something. If you are planned for theft, then something comes and burns down everything. You didn't plan for fire accident. We have seen this in many families. Then suddenly a flood comes and washes away. I have a all best alarm system in my house, and the flood comes and washes away everything. So it is not possible for us to really give 100% protection to oneself and others, and we cannot control everything. So does it mean that I shouldn't plan? No. He is not saying all that. He doesn't say that you shouldn't plan or you shouldn't be prepared. No, he's not talking about that. He's just saying don't be deluded that you can have everything in control. You are not in control of everything. Everything has been given to you. Make use of it, maximum use of it. And when it is taken away, be grateful. Okay, as long as it was there, I was happy. Good. So be happy when you have it. And don't be sad when you lose it. That is the point. Everything is temporary. Then he says, Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimeshat kala sarvam mayamayamidam buddhva brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva. The ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Garvam means pride. Pride is not just being proud about, not just healthy being proud, like feeling blessed is different from uh, having pride about something. Garva is where there is the damba, okay? Do not take pride in wealth. Dhana. Then jana. Jana includes friends, family, everything. Okay. Then yavana. Yavana means youth, being youthful. You know, youthful in the sense it could be not even, not just young age, but even having a very healthy and fit body. You know, I'm strong. That type of over pride. Over pride. Let us say over pride. Okay. So because Harati Nimishat Kalasarvam, the time Kalaha takes away everything. Nimishat, in a second, in a blink of an eye, it takes away everything. Maya Mayamidam, the whole world is just an illusion. Illusion in the sense, it's not a dream. So I won't say the whole world is an illusion, but anything that you see as yours is not actually yours. Don't be deluded. That's what we say. Akilam, Akilam, whatever you have, don't be deluded into thinking that everything is yours. May you know that Budva. So having known that nothing is nityam in this world, including your own body, mind, senses, and everybody's body, mind, senses, the wealth, whatever you have, Brahmapadam Pravisha, may you choose moksha. May you choose Shastra. You know, we saw that Govindam means the one who is known through the Shastra. Shabda, Go means Shabda, Shastra Shabda. May you know the nature of Ishvara, may you know the nature of yourself. Who are you? From where have you come? What is your real nature? All this Brahmapadam, and may you gain the Brahmapadam. We'll see what Brahmapadam means at all in some other class, okay? So, having known yourself, may you gain Brahmapadam. Atmajnanena, may you know who you are and thus gain Brahmapadam. So, there's Dhanam. Nothing wrong in having Dhanam because Dhanam is Lakshmi. Everybody prays for Lakshmi, and Dhana is definitely a grace. If somebody has a lot of money, then the person has done a lot of punyam and the person is really blessed. So Dhanam is a blessing. Ashtalakshmi is blessing. But then also know that Dhanam will not always be there. Constantly. It keeps going, coming, going, coming. That is the nature of money. Suddenly there is profit, suddenly there is loss. And then also somebody will take it away from you. You already said that. So Dhanam is a blessing. There is no doubt because a king needs a lot of Dhanam in order to protect his kingdom. And the father needs Dhanam, mother needs Dhanam to look after her children, look after her family. That's their responsibility. So Dhanam by itself is not, it's neither a curse nor a boon. But then if you have it, timid, you know, that arrogance. May you not have arrogance. Yeah, Garvam is arrogance. Don't you be arrogant about it. I can just throw money and buy whatever I want. I have enough money to do whatever I want. That type of arrogance may it not be there. But generally, everybody will say, no, I don't have any arrogance with reference to money. I never think that I have arrogance. I never have arrogance. But then let's check. When you buy something which is absolutely not necessary, you buy it because you have the arrogance that you can afford to waste. That is arrogance. Having more than what one wants is an arrogance with reference to money. Because I have money, I can waste. It's okay, let it go waste. When you buy something for your child, you know, the child will ask. That is the nature of child. You know, child will desire for everything because the child still hasn't learned to have a mastery over what it actually needs and a fancy for things. It doesn't understand. And you don't want to hurt the child and you want to buy. So if you can, I can afford, it's okay. Let him play now, let him have at least even after 2 days if he breaks, at least my child will have the happiness of having played with it for 2 days. You know, that is arrogance only. People think it is not arrogance. And then even if I don't have money, I want to. That is different. That is stupidity. That is not arrogance. Even when I can't afford, I buy something and waste it. It's not arrogance. It is stupidity. But when you have something and you think it is all right for the money, if it goes waste, it is okay. That is also a trace of arrogance only. So May you not have arrogance with reference to money and jana with reference to people. Oh, I have a lot of people. If I say, having confidence is different. Confidence is different from arrogance. So he's addressing only arrogance. Even in confidence, he's saying, he's already said, don't think, as long as everything is fine, they will be with you. That also he has already said. Then Yavana Garvam. Yavana Garvam, youthfulness is definitely a blessing. You know, when you're young, uh, when you're healthy, you're energetic, and you're full of hope, and always wanting to explore and curious. And that is a blessing, of course. You're ready to take any challenge. A youngster is always inspiring and motivating, and all that is there. There are advantages of youthfulness, but then may you not have arrogance with reference to your looks and your strength and everything. That is what he's saying. Even you are an elderly person, and if you are fit, may you not be too arrogant about it. Say, may you not have pride with reference to Mahapuru, Dhana, Jana, Yavana, Bhavam. Young age is a blessing. He's not saying that when you're young and fit, you should not say, "Oh, anyway, everything will leave me and go." No, that is not the attitude he's talking about. But don't be. But this will also pass. This will also go away. So may you not be engrossed in it. May you not be too attached to whatever you have. So when I know the truth of this, what happens? I accept everything gracefully. Any change I accept gracefully. So when there's too much of arrogance with reference to Yavana, what happens? A small wrinkle, white hair, or you're not able to get up, like or jump the way you were doing as a child. Then, oh, I used to do all this. Now I'm not able to do all these crumbles come. When I was young, I was much better than you. That also will come. There's arrogance, when when somebody is doing something, you can't even appreciate that. When you have arrogance about your own ability, then you won't be able to appreciate. You'll be hurting others also. So don't do all this. May you not have accept everything gracefully. That is what he says. Sometimes what happens. Arrogance leads to pain. Not sometimes, many times. That ego, it gets when somebody is too proud about something, and if you want to hurt them, you just hurt that ego. One small prick, and that's enough for that person to get upset, to get frustrated, get angry, to become disappointed, and everything happens to this person. He loses all his peace of mind when that bloated ego is hurt. So the ego is a pain. So may you not invite pain by having already you have enough pain. Why do you want to invite pain with such attitude? So disassociate yourself from these things. If you don't disassociate, in the sense if you uh, don't have attachment, that holding on, just let go of the holding on and just enjoy whatever is there. That's what he's saying. Don't hold on to it. If you hold on, then when it is taken away, you pull, and that also pulls, and there is pain. Or the other one wants to go. Actually, the other one wants to leave you and go, but you are not ready to leave it. And it says this happens in relationships. Ma, give me some space. Don't cling on to me like this. Just let me go. Relationships are there, even friendships, and close friends. Then they come to know that you're clinging and holding. They want to just move away from you. They're not. It feels suffocating for them. So when they go away, you don't understand why they are going. You think I'm giving so much love, so much attention. I have been, and in spite of it, they left me, and then they are ungrateful. But they are not able to survive with suffocating. Even sometimes that over love and over attention is too suffocating for them. So they want to leave you. But you want to hold, and they just remove your hand, please, and they go. So that is like that. This puchi is there, no? That insect which goes and falls into the fire, it gets attracted to that fire, and then it goes towards it and it falls in it, and it it dies. He said, don't knowingly go and fall. At least little puchi, that puchi insect is ignorant, poor thing. But you are not ignorant. You have buddhi. Buddhi has been given to you. You have heard about all these things. You have seen everybody's experience. In spite of it, why do you repeat the same? You know all this. You have studied the Ramayana. You have studied Mahabharata. You have studied all the characters. You have understood what is happening. This is the riti. This is the way the world is. But still, why do you keep repeating it again and again? So don't do the same mistake what everybody has done. At least learn from other people's experience. Come on, wake up. Don't be deluded. So you don't need super intelligence for that. You just have to observe few things. And in spite of it, if you fall for it, then nobody can save you. Then the pain will be there. You have to go through it. So everything is finite. Everything is anitya. So may you know this and accept it with gratitude. Whatever is there, be grateful with gratitude. That is the other way of looking at things. As long as I have, okay, it is there. I'm happy that Bhagavan has given me. With that attitude, if you continue, then you will have the leisure to even remember Bhagavan. But if you are holding on to something, that you won't have the leisure to even surrender to Bhagavan. So now you are holding on to it. Let go and surrender to Bhagavan. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam, Bhajamudhamate. संप्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्रुञ्चरणे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते। स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।